Hey divas, so in today's video I am here to share with you guys my first impressions and my demo on these new L'Oreal Infallible sponges. So if you guys are interested, then go ahead and stay tuned. Okay divas, so let's jump right in. So here is the original packaging of the sponge because I have not took it out yet. I wanted to wait for this video. I really wanted to try out the sponge and see if it works with the product, with their new foundation. But anyways, the video is about the sponge. So this is their L'Oreal Paris Blend Artist Infallible Foundation Blender. So this is what it looks like. So it looks kind of similar to the Beauty Blender and kind of not, because it has like, I don't know, it looks like it has like a waist cincher or something compared to the regular Beauty Blender. A waist cincher, but you know what I mean, like it dips in, so it doesn't look exactly like the Beauty Blender. But yeah, so it said, the direction says apply a small amount of foundation onto blender, bounce all over the face until desired coverage is achieved, and it says that it's washable with a gentle soap and water. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. So before I do that, I did pick up another one by them as well. This is the L'Oreal Blend Artist Infallible Concealer Blender. So I was really excited to try this out because I was thinking I can get into all the places where I apply concealer a little bit easier. So yeah, I'm super duper excited to try it. So it does not say to damp the sponges on here, but I'm just gonna do that anyways because that is how I use a beauty sponge. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's just how I use it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go and dampen these and I'll be right back. Okay, so after I wet the sponge, it does expand and get a little bit bigger, and so does this one. I will go ahead and insert a before and after clip, video clips of the sponges before and after, so they do get pretty big. So to prime my face, I'm going to be using this Touch and Soul Feel Like Honey Moon Skin Base. And I'm using this one just because the foundation I'm going to use, which is their Infallible Total Cover Foundation, which I did do a separate video on this. So if you're interested in that, then you can check in the description box below. You can watch that video after you're done with this one if you want a full review. But I'm going to use this foundation. And when I did the review, I noticed that this foundation was like a little bit drying. And that's crazy because I have oily skin. So I wanted to use a primer that is a little more forgiving for that type of foundation. Okay, so now moving on to the first sponge. I like to apply my foundation first before I apply concealer. So I'm just going to be using this foundation. I am going to follow the instructions like what it said on the box of the Beauty Blender just to see if that works. So it says apply your foundation to the sponge and then go ahead and apply it. So let's do it. Okay, already I feel like this sponge is working absolutely amazing with this foundation. Like, because I did a review on this foundation and it was not blending out this smoothly and not allowing me as much time as I have now to blend it out. So this is like a huge difference. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like on this side of my face. I don't have any foundation on this side of my face. So this is what it looks like after I've blended it out with just applying it on the back of the sponge. Now, one thing I will say is it does shear it out a lot, but I do love the way that it gives me more time because when I first tried this foundation, there was no time. So I guess it does make a difference with using the product that goes along with it. It did shear it out a lot, so it's not complete coverage, but it is good medium coverage. Okay, so this is what it looks like on this side. So it does provide still like that. It shears out the foundation because I'm not gonna lie, this foundation can get cakey if you use a little bit too much, but it's also buildable. So if you did want to have more coverage, you can, but you have to be very careful because it can go cakey really, really quick. But as far as the sponge blending it out, my first impressions is that it blends out really, really good. I feel like these two definitely go hand in hand. I definitely understand why they made this sponge for this foundation because yeah, it definitely works a lot better, and it just makes my skin look nice and natural without being too much and just too cakey. I like these two together, so I would definitely give this a thumbs up for my first impression. Okay, divas, so let's move on to concealer. So for my concealer, I'm going to use another L'Oreal product, but this is their L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Concealer, and I'm going to use it in the shade Medium Deep, which is C6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply the concealer to all the places where I normally apply my concealer. Okay, so now I have my concealer on. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the flat side of the blender and I'm going to begin blending it out. So it seems like it's a little bit harder to blend with this. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit smaller and I'm not used to it, but it does seem like it is a little bit harder. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I blended it out. So I will say it does take a while to blend out. So it does blend out, but it just takes a little bit longer. So I would suggest probably using this on the days where you have a little bit more time. But I mean, it does give a flawless blend to your concealer, but I would just say that it does take longer. So I'm gonna use the other side to blend my nose contour. And this side seems to blend a lot faster. Like, as you guys can see, it's like going a whole lot faster. So maybe I should have tried the under eye with this side. But I don't know, I just thought that the flat side would be better. Yeah, so I definitely recommend using the other side and not the flat side. I mean, you could use the flat side because it still gives you a flawless finish, but it does just take a lot longer. Okay, so this is how it looks after I've used the sponge. So I would definitely say to use this side over this side. Like, if you are doing your 10-minute makeup routine, then use this side. If you're going out, it's a night out, date night, girls night, then you can use this side as long as you have enough time. Okay, divas, so I'm gonna just blend the rest of my makeup and finish it and set everything, and I'll be back to tell you guys my first impressions on these sponges. Okay, divas, so now I'm here to tell you guys my first impression of these sponges. So first of all, let's start off with this one. I really like the way this one blends with the L'Oreal Total Coverage Foundation. Like, it works absolutely amazing. As I mentioned before, I did do a video in a demo and a review before I have this sponge, because this sponge was really hard to get my hands on. I had to go to a few Ultas in order to even find it. But yeah, anyway, so this sponge works really good with that foundation. So if you're thinking about getting that foundation, or you haven't and it just looks too orange, or it just looks completely off, then just please try it with this sponge, because it makes a huge difference, as you guys seen in my demo. So I would definitely give this a thumbs up, and I would definitely be only wearing that foundation with this sponge. Okay, so moving on to the concealer sponge. So I really like this sponge. As I said before in the demo, the flat side, when you blend your concealer out with that, especially your under eye, I didn't try on my nose because obviously I need to get into a smaller space. It does take a long time. However, if you just turn it over and flip it over, which is kind of the norm of what a beauty blender would be like anyways, like the top that you would normally use your beauty blender to blend out the concealer. So I feel like this side works a lot better, and it's also a lot faster. Not saying that you have to be like in a race with your makeup, but sometimes we need to throw on like this 10-minute-esque face, and blending with this side is just not going to make that possible, because for some reason, I don't know what it is, maybe the shape, or I don't know what it is, it does make it take a lot longer. So overall, I would definitely give this a thumbs up, and I would definitely recommend this one, especially if you are going to be using that foundation. In my other video, it does look a lot more red. It didn't look that way in person, but I don't know if that's because I have red undertones. I didn't blend it down the neck to see if it would like match really good and with the sponge, and it really does. So I would definitely recommend getting this sponge. Like, I would say that this is a must-have. As far as this concealer sponge, I would definitely not say that it's a must-have. If you want to get it, you could. I feel like this part of the beauty blender can blend your concealer just fine. because you would end up having to use this side, and I'm guessing that this side is, you know, the unique part of the sponge that you're supposed to be using, and I just don't see a need for it. I am going to use it since I purchased it, but I don't know. I mean, I would definitely recommend it if you want to use it, but I wouldn't say you have to go out and buy it. Like I said before, you can just use the top of your beauty blender for that. So I wouldn't say this is needed. But yeah, divas, that is my demo and my first impressions on these sponges. I hope that you guys have found this video very helpful and very easy to follow. If you did, then go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Be sure to go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I would love to communicate with you lovely divas. If I missed anything or anything like that, then go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. I will be sure to go ahead and check it out. If there is some comment questions that you have, always check the description box, because I always place things in the description box and you guys never check. Well, some of you guys do. I'm not going to accuse all of you, but always check the description box for some of the information that you may be looking for. But yeah, divas, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also hit the notification button so you will not miss any notification uploads and things like that from me. And be sure to go ahead and follow me on my social media. I'll insert it right here. It is at Glamshae on Instagram and Snapchat, as well as Twitter. So yeah, divas, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you lovely divas in my next video. Bye.